How y'all doing?
Right, let's finally get started. Let me take you back to the year of 2017. Now, news has started to form that we was getting another Sonic game, and I for one was beyond excited and curious of what direction they would take him next. The most recent game of that time was Sonic Lost Worlds, which came out on the 18th of October 2013 and was a fairly decent game overall. But that is a video for another day, so I won't go further into it. What's that? So what's that amazing game we're going to get, I hear you say? Well, you didn't say anything, but let's pretend you did. Anyways, the amazing 10 out of 10 jaw-dropping game that we got was Sonic Forces. There's so much to say about the game that I don't even know where to start. This game is literally so bad to the point where I've rewatched the cutscenes many times and still can't comprehend how they messed up on such a wasted potential. But we have to start somewhere, I guess. Sonic is back in action once again, fighting Dr. Eggman to save the world. However, this time he isn't so lucky and manages to get beaten down and kidnapped with the help of a new villain called Infinite, who is of course working with Eggman. With all hope lost and everyone giving up, it's up to you to save the day with your OC character, which I'll explain more in further detail in a bit, so please stay tuned for that. We see classic Sonic make a comeback to the game, as well as seeing old villains from the past games too. After Sonic's capture, we then learn that Eggman has successfully taken over 99% of the world, so we can only imagine all the despair that all the characters are facing as we go through the game trying to fix the damage that has been done. Shadow's DLC takes place 1 month before Sonic Forces, but I wanted to explain what the game is about first so you guys had some type of context. So basically, to cut things short, we get a mini opening cutscene of where Rouge is talking to Shadow, discussing about this unknown base of operations that seems to be working outside of Eggman's control. While at the same time, we also learn that Eggman is creating some type of weapon. With all this new information Shadow has learned, he then goes to investigate. We see Infinite stating to Shadow what he has done to Omega after their fight, boasting about how strong and powerful he is, and how no one can defeat him. With Omega being put out of commission, it is clear that Shadow is his next target. Infinite tries to constantly remind Shadow that they know each other, but let's be so honest, Shadow be beefing everyone and anything that breathes, so of course he doesn't remember who Infinite is, which makes him flustered and frustrated. Now, after his paying a Shadow to take down the many operation bases, the scene starts with our main antagonist trying to do a surprise attack on Shadow, while Eggman speaks to Infinite through an earpiece, which I presume, basically informing him that he knows who he is and how Infinite's squad was so useless in their mission, so he needs to go clear up their mess. With his squad destroyed, filled with anger and revenge, he makes his move and pounces, only for Shadow to use the Chaos Control to teleport and do his famous Chaos spin. You know what? let me just show you the spin kick.
Mercenary.
Oh my god.
Oh, hell no.
Yes, I'm aware. I've probably given him more of a description than I intended to, but I apologize if I repeat certain things in this part. If you're wondering what his real name is, keep wondering because no one knows. But despite that, the fandom has settled on calling him Zero, based on his concept name and Jackal because of his species. From the DLC, we learned that he's the former captain of the Jackal Squad mercenary group. During a raid, Infinite, who is also known as the ultimate mercenary— Hold on! Is this a Danganronpa reference? Dr. Eggman hired him to become the leader of his army, which also led to his downfall low-key, as the Jackal Squad fell to the hands of Shadow while trying to protect one of Eggman's facilities. With all this despair Infinite was facing, he began to feel ashamed and very resentful towards Shadow. So he decided to obtain the power of the Fountain Ruby to become strong, and in a way have a fresh start from his former self, who he now considers as weak.
You should kill yourself now.
he teamed up with Eggman, working under him to help expand the Eggman empire after finally defeating Sonic. And might I just add, in all the years the Doctor has attempted to take over the world, this is the only time that he's been nearly successful in doing so. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Why didn't Sega just make us play as Sonic the Hedgehog, just like we've always done in the game?
Well, there's a couple of factors that play into that, so I'll start. As we know, the Sonic fandom is very well known for its many OCs and questionable amount of shadow sin, but I digress. I don't think I've ever attempted to draw my own OC like Sonic character, but then again, I wasn't the best drawer when it came to this form of art style. I mean, do you know how hard this is? However, I did try again recently, and when I say try again, I mean drawing Sonic characters in general, because, you know, I'm older of course and surprisingly still have enough brain cells to pick up a pencil, but I'll show you guys what I've drawn on the screen. Anyways, because OCs play such a big part into the fandom, Sega wanted to recreate that experience and put that feature into the game, hoping to please the fans. But Sega, just between me and you, you know you can never please this fandom. Sonic fans will always argue whether you give them what they want or not. And the only time the Sonic fandom has agreed on something is fixing the first Sonic movie, cause Lord... So the OC, which is you, is here to save the day, since Sega nerfed every strong character with anxiety and depression. Like, these are the same characters that I'm pretty sure can fight, but alright. They then tell you that you need to be the one to free Sonic, and that's your role in the game. You get to be the main character. You get to do something that Sonic could not. Now, not only can you customize your characters to your liking, but different animals represent different bonus powers to your character. So I'll quickly explain. Automatically draws rings when near them, has longer invincible time after receiving damage, keeps 1 ring after being hit, restarts with 5 rings after the player dies, blows away homies with a homing attack, flies high with double jump abilities, and finally the Hedgehog, collects rings when getting damage. So, which one are you picking? Bro, what is going on with Tails' character? It just seems like he's getting worse and worse in each game. Tails went from this...
The fate of Station Square depends on me. Sonic! I've changed a lot since I've started hanging with Sonic. But I can't depend on him forever. I know I can do this by myself. Okay, Eggman, bring it on!
To this.
I should have done it. I couldn't figure it out for you, buddy. I'm sorry I wasn't smart enough. Whoa, chaos! Sonic, help me!
Help me! Help me! Nigga! Help me!
As you can see, this is a big jump and a confusing one at that. But the only way I can somewhat justify this for my sake is to assume that because Tails is 8, he is most definitely struggling with PTSD or something through his adventures to save the world with Sonic. Hence why in the modern era he comes across as a coward and sometimes useless. However, I know Sega ain't gonna explain why the sudden character changes on it, so it really just ruins his character development. And regardless of all that, I would still love Tails as a character, honestly. Like, I kin him in certain aspects. It's just so frustrating to see your favorite characters just get botched, bro. And this, my friends, is where Sega messed the up.
Eggman's army is unstoppable. Without Sonic, the people are losing hope and giving into despair.
Despair is a luxury we don't have.
I still believe that Sonic is with us. Do you think he might be?
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
I'm sorry, what? Since when was Silver a realist? You know, it's almost as if the people who made this game, hear me out, it's crazy, right? The people that made this game have never played Sonic 06 or never heard of it. Silver's whole character is literally based off being an optimist, to the point where that was his literal plot. If he was never Optimus in Sonic 06, especially in the death scene featuring Shane Dawson, then everyone would have given up and let Sonic stay dead. But you know what? Who am I to talk? Because
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
Just to clarify, there's nothing wrong with being a realist. My main point is that Silver was never one in the first place, and this just does not fit his character at all. In fact, it makes him come across as a joke, if anything. One thing that I want to add on to this.
This wasn't part of my agenda, but I'm always happy to crush a hero. It keeps the rebel in mind, shows them that there is no one.
Does anyone but you believe your lies?
I got it from here.
Do I even need to say too much? Are we really gonna pretend that Silver didn't go from this?
Is this a joke? How could someone like you cause the destruction of our world?
To this? Nothing? Okay, cool. Also, look at these last few cutscenes. I mean, Jesus Christ, Sega. Could you guys get any lazier? Oh yeah. With all that I discussed in this video, personally, I feel like this game is definitely a waste of potential. I mean, the story could have been so much better if they actually just said what they said and went through with it. An example of that would be Sonic with his part of the story. We are told that he's been kidnapped and apparently tortured or abused for 6 months before we, as an OC, go to rescue him. Now, any normal human being who, you know, in this situation is going to rescue Sonic would probably think, oh wow, Sega's probably going to show him feeling low, bruised up, or just scared of everything to show how Sonic's been holding up inside. But no. This motherfucker is constantly being happy for what reason, please? Imagine you get saved from a random person and not your own friends because they've already given up. Like, Jesus Christ. I would not be smiling, but you know, that's just me. From the game side of things, of course, I feel like the Sonic team should have fixed certain levels for a better playthrough. And if Infinite was supposed to be this new strongest villain entering the franchise, then we really should have had a boss battle with him at the end rather than fighting him before. Now, I'm not saying that these games are the same, but I do want to make a little comparison. Security Breach was showing off this new character who we all thought would play a big part in the game, Vanny, only to find out she barely had a part to play and was seen like only once. Now, I'm not saying that Infinite didn't have a big part to play because they are games that both handle it differently. Despite that, they did dumb down Infinite's role a bit so the hype was not needed. How can you make him so strong but get defeated so easily? Well, that's enough from me. Thank you for listening. Why don't you let me know your thoughts on Forces, if you like it or not? And remember, this is just my opinion at the end of the day, so please do not take any offense. Also, at the time of recording this, thank you so much for the 177 subscribers. It means a lot to me. Have a nice day, and I'll talk to you later.
Sonic is gone, Amy, and Tails is